G'day mates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm giving you a full in-depth guide on how you're gonna win money in this new $1 million Marvel Super Cup. If you're from NA East, NA West, EU, any of the later regions, you are so lucky that you are now not going into this tournament blind. I'm gonna give you a full breakdown based on the OCE tournament I watched today, because most people are going into this tournament not even knowing how to get the mythics, how they're gonna work, how they're gonna combo them, because this is like nothing anyone has played before. I'm gonna teach you some ridiculous tricks that I guarantee will help you place for the very first time, or if you're used to placing and you're used to making money, you're gonna need to know these tricks, because players who know them, no matter how good you are, if you don't know how this tournament works, if you're not ready for it, you are not gonna do very well. This tournament is so different to anything we've played before, and I want to teach you the secrets. All right guys, you know the deal. Please chuck a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, share it with your friends. Currently my YouTube channel isn't monetized. The settings are weird. They won't let me put any ads on it, so I'm making no money on this, and my editor is staying up until like 2 a.m. to get this out. It's midnight for me and I'm recording, so please show some love on it, and I hope you enjoy. Now, I did a video a few days ago breaking down how I thought the tournament was going to run based on the rules they put out and based on a little bit of a brief paragraph we got from Epic. Turns out a bit of that information was wrong because they've actually changed it. So trust me, you need to watch this video to the very end because it's going to help you so much. So one of the first things they said is the material is going to be capped at 200 of each type. That is not true. It's 500 of each type. It is normal material and it is faster material farming rate. It is the same farm rate as Arena. It is not like pubs. That goes on to my next point. There is Siphon, and instead of only giving 20 mats on Siphon like they talked about, it's going to be 50. So Siphon is normal. You get 50 health or shield and you get 50 of each material type. Now the next one, this is the biggest one, the mythics. They are not the same as pubs. You get the mythics out of chests, and this is where this tournament is so different, and I can teach you so many ridiculous strategies and tips which are going to help you just dominate even pros. It does not matter. You could be one of the worst players in the game. If you learn some of these tricks, you are going to dominate pros, because so many people who played this tournament without preparation in Middle East, OCE, I'm just watching Asia now, they're not adapting quickly because they didn't know what was coming. So the mythics drop out of chests, and you can carry more than one of each mythic between your teams. So that means you can do things ridiculous like double uni beams. You can have double Stark beams at the same time. It's just insane. So let's start talking about how you can drop, where you're going to drop, how you're going to rotate, and what weapons you're going to run, because that is the most important thing for how you're going to play this tournament and how you're going to place. Now, the scoring format for this tournament is 55 points for a win and 5 points for an elimination. So in duos, that's 11 eliminations for a win. So it's pretty heavy elimination format for sure. And now the main thing I want to discuss is do not box up early. I'm going to repeat that. Do not box up early. Pretty much do not box up at all. That is where everyone is going wrong. People are trying to get center zone. They're trying to box up. They're trying to build bases. No. This has multiple uni beams. This has multiple Thor hammers. This has multiple venom grabs. Builds mean nothing in this format. There is no reason to sit in a base. If you sit in a base, you make yourself an easy target. A duo can walk up and drop 2 Thor hammers on your head. They can do 2 Stark beams. They can do 2 venom grabs. You can be chained with combos so easily. So first point, do not box up early. Pretty much do not box up at all. And this is where it's going to make people really confused. And this is where I'm going to help you, because that scares a lot of people. Because most players, especially if you're not too experienced with competitive, think, hey, I'm going to loot quickly. I'm going to get into zone and I'm going to box up. That's not the strategy. So what you're going to have to do is try to drop on the edge of the map. I'm talking the best drop spots right now, in my opinion, is probably going to be Fortilla. Then you've got drops maybe like Dirty Docks if you're better at dropping POIs, maybe Craggy Cliffs, maybe Camp Cod. Land on the edge and try to get as many chests as possible. The more chests you get, the better chance you have of getting the good mythics and comboing them. If you can guarantee that you and your teammate both have a Stark beam, you're going to pop off. It's that simple. This also means because you're on the edge of the map, you're going to be rotating later, which means you're not going to be boxed up, so you're not going to be targeted as easily. This is where you can start working on dead side rotations. Now, I've talked about this a lot in the past. Very simply put, figuring out where dead side is the side of the zone with the least amount of players. If you're on the edge, most of the time, you're going to be on dead side of zone, unless, say you drop Fortilla and it goes far northeast, you're not going to be on dead side if you rotate in, because most of the map has to go that way, right? If zone goes on steamy stacks, you're Fortilla, everyone has to rotate that section. So take your time, try to hit dead side rotates by getting in boats, go all the way around the island. I kid you not, the longer you can avoid coming in on the edge, the better, because the fights right now, when it comes to third partying, is ridiculous. You're in the middle of a fight, you're about to one pump a guy, and you get double uni beamed. You get a Thor hammer, you get a venom grip, someone friggin' silver surfers out of their box. The fights are ridiculous. You need to be starting fights on players who aren't ready. You need to ambush them with your mythics and hit them hard, and you need to finish those fights quickly. If fights drag out, they take way too long. This is going to be an aggressive format. If you're used to playing safe, you can still play safe to get to the edges, but once you're there, you need to take fights. It is so easy to wipe full duos with your mythics and get easy 10 points than it is trying to come first with this format with crazy mythics. So try to drop edge map, try to loot up as many good mythics as you can. I'm going to run you through exactly which ones you should be carrying in a second, and then try to work on rotating late to dead side. If you try to take a fight on congested side and there's 5 teams all with mythics looking at you, things are going to get crazy. It does not matter how good you are, it's going to get dicey. All right, now let's talk about the mythics you should be carrying and what your loadout should look like. So the priorities for mythic for me are Stark's Unibeam comes first, Thor's Hammer comes second, and then Venom Grab comes third. Now, the reason for this being, because I know the Venom Grab is ridiculous, Stark's Unibeam you can combo, Thor's Hammer you can combo with your teammates, the Venom Grab's hard because you do the damage and you break them, but then you move them. So you can be quite smart with using the Venom Grab. You can grab an opponent, pull them on you, and your teammate can one pump them with you. Things like that are awesome, but honestly, being able to combo mythics that break builds and do damage through builds, which is going to be your Stark Beam and your Thor Hammer, are the most important. So that's your goal. So the ideal loadout for me pretty much is going to be AR, shotgun, one of those mythics, whether it be Stark Beam or Thor's Hammer, one item for rotation. Now, this can be Silver Surfer's Glider. It is a ridiculous item for rotation, or Shockwaves or Crash Pads, and then one meds. If you want to, you can run 2 meds instead of the mobility. That's up to you. But right now, meds don't mean as much. If you get into a fight and they have good mythics, you either have to escape or beat them. You don't have much time to stop and med when you've got Thor's Hammer and Stark Beams dropping on your head. So you need to start fights quickly and finish them quickly. Even to the point where if you want to run double mythics, if you have enough items where you run Stark's Beam and Thor's Hammer at the same time and drop those on people, that can be massive as well. Now, I've talked mostly about the ranged mythics. The melee mythics are still nuts as well. If you get Hulk smashes and your teammate gets Wolverine claws or double Hulk, you can pull off some insane combos. If you can time it, both jump smashing with the Hulk fist, for example, and you get that little like stun off, they'll be dead by the time they can move. So that is also a decent strategy. But again, if anyone's carrying Silver Surfer, which a lot of people were, or Shockwaves or Crash Pads, they can still run, they can still escape, and also a good team will see you coming up onto them. So it's decent, but I would still much prefer to run the range mythics. But if that's your style, maybe if you're not as confident hitting the range abilities, the melees can be pretty good if you just get on top of someone and smash them quickly. OCE games are never as stacked as other regions. We're a smaller region, we're a very aggressive region, so I couldn't gauge too much off that, but based on how crazy these mythics are, how easy it is to get eliminations, most players aren't playing for placement. Most players are playing aggressive, so you need to keep that in mind. That's why I'm talking so much about your rotations. If you're trying to box up, you're trying to go healthy in endgame, it doesn't matter that much. So I would prioritize rotating quicker, getting to a good side of zone and eliminating people, rather than trying to farm max materials, trying to get the best mythics, everything the best as possible. This is why when I talk about dropping edge map though, try to drop an edge map location that has a lot of chests. Fortilla has a lot, Dirty Docks has a lot, Camp Cod not so much, so try to find those drops that have heaps of chests, because that's where you get the good mythics and you go, because that's the main thing you need to move. Right now, you don't have to worry about upgrading shotguns, you don't have to worry about finding the best assault rifles, you just need some mythics and then start going to zone. Do not come in on congested side and get into a bunch of fights. All right, guys, that does it for another video. I hope this one held good luck. It really is your best chance to get a high placement or maybe your first earnings. It's a little bit different. It's still going to go towards those smart players who know how to play the game, but you've really got to adapt. And honestly, if you've watched this video to this point, you're going in with such a big advantage. Feel confident, use the mythics, and take fights. Even if you're not used to winning a lot of fights, I guarantee you will with this one. I hope I got it out early enough for you. I'm currently recording this super late at night. My editor's pulling an all-nighter to get it up quickly so you guys can watch it before the tournament. So if you made it this far, please chuck a like on it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It would mean so much to me. Thank you for all the love on the videos right now, and I'll see you in the next one.